10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, Wrestle Talk Podcast family. Welcome into another great episode. I tell you, I am just so excited tonight. This is going to be one heck of an episode, I tell you. And I cannot wait to get into some discussions with the one and only Alex Taylor. Oh my gosh, this is such a big guest here on Wrestle Talk Podcast tonight. And can't wait to get into it with him. But before we do that, as always, there is always other business to take care of. But I am not here by myself, not by a long shot. I've got my man Ace in the back. He's working the boards for us tonight. And also have the one, the only Gabriel R. Sin, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. I don't know if you can see it on my end, Haas. You're kind of frozen right now. Ace, is that just me, or is that on your end too?
No, he's froze up pretty good. I mean, that's a cute little image of him, though.
Well, Haas, can you? I was gonna say, I think we can still hear you though.
Can you hear us, Haas? I think he is out. Well, I'll stick around until he gets situated there.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is just so excited for this episode, he's speechless. All right, so we're rocking in our next episode of the Wrestle Talk Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. But it is yours truly, the one and only, the young lion with the old soul, your Warriors Heart champion of the FWWC, Gabriel Arsen. We are here for episode. Oh boy, what are we at now, dude?
537.
537, bro. It feels like yesterday we were just hitting 500, and now we're almost halfway there.
Wow. Let's see if Hoss is back on here. Hoss, are we good now? Can you hear us?
Are we coming in clear?
I hear you.
There we go. All right. Now we're rocking and rolling. But gentlemen, we have a lot to discuss here in the world of professional wrestling when it comes to the Wrestle Talk Podcast. And I know we got a lot of questions, and we have a fantastic guest lined up for our second hour. I'm very excited. I'm eager to meet this guy. NWA, are you kidding me? Like we got a big one. We're catching a lot of big ones here in the in the Wrestle Talk Podcast. Excuse me. We are going to be talking FWWC though. We got a lot to talk about, but. Gentlemen, as always, we have a lot to get taken care of here before we get started in the Wrestle Talk Podcast. So as always, we would like to thank our fantastic sponsors. Wow. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank our fantastic sponsors, including Retro Zone, Painter's Dream Productions, that's headed by Perry, Big Daddy P, we love you. The Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Doomed Outfitters, headed by our one and only Ace. Hit them up if you want your commissions for your pro wrestling events, is anything you need. World Domination Wrestling Alliance is headed by John Haas Hero, and the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. So how was I saw you guys on Elevation the other night, man. You were crushing it.
Yeah, it was another great episode of Elevation, and we always have so much fun on those episodes. And, if you haven't checked them out, you really ought to, and this past episode, we had Jeremiah, we had the president of the fire hall, Steve, was there, and a surprise appearance by JTR. You know, he bought his own way in, I guess, to the show because I didn't even know he was coming, but he popped in and just.
I'm sure you were thrilled about it.
Yeah, sparks were just flying on that episode.
The only way JTR knows how to do, right?
That's it.
I would imagine. Oh boy, howdy! I honestly, I need to take a moment here because I was gonna say, was I here last time? Is this episode after or before I went to Battle Riot? Because I got a lot to talk about. Oh, that was hell of a pay-per-view. But you know what? Before we jump into any of this,
episode was right after Battle Riot, I think.
Alrighty. Well, you know what? We can cover that in just a bit because we got a lot more business to take care of because it's not just our sponsors. As always, we need to make sure that we're hitting something very important here, and that is, as always, we'd like to take this moment to ask everybody if you could please remove your hats, place your hands over your hearts, and we take this moment to give thanks to the greatest country on God's green earth, that is America, damn it. Not a day goes by as we have this on our Wrestle Talk podcast. As always, brings a tear to your eyes and blood to your ears, or a combination of the two. Now, I was going to say, do we still have an issue with Haas in the back there, or are we just sticking it to me right now? Oop. You're muted.
It would help if I.
Yeah, just a little. All righty. Well, you know what? It's a good thing we got you on standby. So we're prepared, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't going to be a solo show. So you know what? Assassin Syndicate is in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
For the Warriors Heart Champion and the very own Warriors Heart Champion running the Wrestle Talk podcast here tonight. But you know what? Honestly, this is a dynamic. We never actually had a show together ourselves, so this is different. So I think we can make the most out of this. Now, Ace, well, how's it been, man? You been keeping up with pro wrestling?
Hit and miss, man. I've been down for about 2 weeks with the flu, man, so I've been sleeping a lot.
I feel that, dude. I've just been working my ass off these past couple of days. I'm like, New Japan who? Pro wrestling what? I've just been all over it. But you know what? I still try to make time for it whenever I can.
Oh, yeah. I try to do what I can, but, you know.
Now, I think we do have plenty to talk about because we have our Wrestle Talk podcast as far as our questions are coming up. But I'm thinking we're ready to kick it to DJ Money so we can jump into our high spot segment.
All right. Let's DJ Money help.
Mic check, mic check. Yeah. All right. Wrestle Talk podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like clear chops. We talk shop, coming through the screens of a laptop and non-stop like a running speakers of blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops. Like a clock flash, feel like a belly flop. Now that's hard. We up to speed while they stay slow. Wrestle Talk podcast. Now they know we about to start the show.
Is there any better way to start a segment than DJ Money, man? That is the hypest bars I have ever heard. My man said we hit hard like chair shots and backdrops. Like and if you've ever hit, and Ace, you can attest to this, you know how hard a backdrop is.
Oh, yeah.
And I think chair shots go unspoken, even the good ones.
Oh, yeah. And we're still having problems with old House here, so
we're working with it. Worst comes to worst, we can talk to him in the comment section. Now, we got a couple of questions lined up here tonight. I mean, a lot has happened in wrestling, but it's what's weird though? I feel like a lot has happened, but a lot has also flown under the radar. Like it's easy to forget that Elimination Chamber is next week.
It kind of seemed like it's going way too quick this year. I mean, it seemed like the Rumble was just here. Then you got the Elimination Chamber. Then you got WrestleMania coming up. We'll talk about that in a minute because I got a lot to say about WrestleMania this year.
I know you do.
There's old Johnny. All right, so let's hit this randomizer here for our first one. Y'all ready?
Yes. Let's rock and roll.
Kind of seems like that thing goes a lot longer than it's supposed to.
Don't worry. I think it was just trying to make sure we're awake. So our first High Spots question. I think I'll take this one real quick, gentlemen, but this is a good one. It says, who should be inducted in the 2026 WWE Hall of Fame? I'm not sure who spelled inducted, but I don't think that's how you spell it. And I doubt we're going to try and indict our pro wrestlers. So
yeah, I don't know who to blame that one on there. So
who should be indicted in the 2026 Hall of Fame?
Indicted. We're indicting people now. Oh man. You know what? We're just gonna leave that there. I think everybody know. Hopefully they know what we mean. If they don't, I'm blaming John.
Now this is a big one because honestly, all right. I guess we're getting double angles here.
Oh yeah, hey.
We got the exclusive from Hardcore Hoss. All righty. But look, at least we can see your face now, Hoss. We can make it work. But we can take a moment to really acknowledge this. But how many people are actually in the WWE Hall of Fame that they've covered? I mean, we've had Hogan, we've had Austin. I mean, even the last year was a really good one. I mean,
yet has he? I think it's about. The Rock's not in yet, is he?
I feel like that would acknowledge the fact that he's like past it, and I don't think he wants to. But yeah, I mean, at this point, that would be a good way to go about it.
Yeah.
So why don't you start us off, Ace? Why don't we go from there? So besides, why do you think The Rock should be in?
Well, because you're putting in everybody from that era already. You already got Triple H, you already got Shawn Michaels, you got Taker, you got Stone Cold, you got everybody from that era. I mean, just go ahead and put The Rock in. I don't know. Somebody, hold on. I got to pull this up because I kind of disagree. I think John Cena will be in the WWE Hall of Fame. I really don't think he should be, though. Honestly, not yet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in the same boat. We can talk about that at least. So, gentlemen, now? I think it goes without saying that Cena has all the credentials for being Hall of Fame material. I think we all know that being the the record-breaking champion in the WWE kind of constitutes that. We can jump into this one in just a sec, but I think I'm in the same boat with you, Ace. I don't really know that it's the right time. It's like he just retired, and I'm like, granted, it seems opportune, but I feel like they should save it. Why would you waste that now?
Kind of. I mean, about a year or so. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people, and I hate it, but they're saying Bray Wyatt. No. Okay. And I'll argue until I'm blue in the face on this one. Look, it's not that I don't think he had a good career. Do I think he had a Hall of Fame career? No. I think the only reason they'd be putting him in, just like with Owen Hart, let's be honest, and I know I'm going to heat for this one, Owen Hart only got put in because he died. That's it. Okay? Think about Bray Wyatt. He really didn't have much of a career that was like very memorable. I don't believe that he's Hall of Fame worthy. I mean, but then again, they put in a bunch of people that's just like, celebrities, you know what I'm saying? So I might as well put him in. But as far as do I personally think he had like a major career that deserved the Hall of Fame? No. I think people want him in because he died.
I would just like to take this opportunity to say that the views of one Ace of Doomed Outfitters do not reflect the views of the Wrestle Talk podcast. No, I mean, that's your stance. And that is certainly a discussion to have. But I do disagree with you to a degree. And that's only because I think Bray Wyatt changed the approach for wrestling. And I'll try to keep it brief so we can start talking about the other potential candidates. Just feel we're not harping on this because I'm sure we could talk about Bray Wyatt all night. But I think that's a solid one. I think it's been long enough since it happened. And I think there's no better way to honor his memory. And I think the Wyatt Six have been crushing it. So it seems pretty relevant in terms of that. But I think he constitutes for it. I think in terms of character work, and I think in terms of lore. And I love that I get to use that word for wrestling now, because Bray Wyatt's the kind of dude where this dude was very comic book about it, and it was so much fun. And he created a new presence to filming wrestling. I'm like, how many, even the ones that were bad, because I'm not going to pretend like everything he wasn't shooting, 10 out of 10. We can agree that he was probably half in weight, but you miss all the shots you don't take. And Bray took a lot of shots. And I think we can agree the Firefly Funhouse was something unexpected. And his match with Cena at Mania was probably the most unprecedented, unconventional thing ever, but probably the single greatest match that wasn't a match to happen, and the only person to stick the landing would be Bray Wyatt. Because when I think about somebody like The Undertaker, where we're supposed to conventionally believe this idea that he's with Bray, I believe it. And it's only because he has a certain almost film-esque quality. I don't know how to describe it other than like, a movie or something. He has a very psychological aspect to it. But I wanted to bring up some of these comments, actually. If we can bring one up. Somebody mentioned it. I believe it was Donnie, is it Diablo? Pronounce that? Glenn Jacobs. Yeah, I mean, at this point, might as well. I mean, it's fair to say that this man has been doing enough in the realm of professional wrestling that he should be in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, you got The Undertaker already in it. You got people that come in way after him already in the Hall of Fame. Might as well put Kane in. It's about time to put him in.
Yeah, I say now is the opportunity to do it. I think if anybody deserves it, it's him. And at the very least, they can milk it. If they're worried about, well, we're going to use Kane, you can still make the brothers milk the Brothers of Destruction later. So to even after they can still get one more announcement for both of them.
True.
Now, I want to point out this because I did actually kind of prep this up a little bit, but if somebody can fact check this for me, I believe that if he's in there or not, but is Bam Bam Bigelow currently in the Hall of Fame?
I don't know. That'd be a good one too, though.
Here, I'll double check this real quick. But I mean, if we're going to talk about some of the most legendary big men in professional wrestling, Bam Bam Bigelow is the best to do it.
What about Mark Henry? Remember the Big Show? I know the Big Show.
You know what? The thing is Big Show still at AEW is the concern part.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, though, they should be past that. I mean, even Jericho. I mean, you can't bring up their wrestling career without bringing up WWE. That's what they was big at. So, I mean, I don't know. To me, I kind of feel like that whole pettiness with the different promotions, man, just get over it. Like, if somebody wants to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, let them,
I mean, I'm with you on that, but unfortunately the world is crappy about this kind of stuff. Apparently people can't get together with something as simple as wrestling. Yeah. I also wanted to point this out, but somebody to really throw out there, and I have to fact check this. Thank you, Nick Luke. But Miss Elizabeth.
That's a good one too.
I think we really got to rep it. We need a lot more female wrestlers. That was something that I like that was pointed out, and that's what I loved about last year's or I think it was the year before. But Bull Nakano, absolute excellent pick in terms of it. Now, but the thing is now my pro wrestling Japanese brain is going off. So I'm like, Aja Kong and just everybody else, just Joshi Pro Wrestling as a whole.
Oh man, there's another one I'm trying to think. Shoot, there's not too many of them from back when we were kids outside of The Rock. Honestly, that's not really in there.
Now, if I could throw a controversial pick in there, just to see what everybody thinks, and just because I know that this man has a little bit of stuff with it, and it's not who you think it is. I know everybody, just stop. I know what you're thinking. It's not who you think it is. All right, but I want to throw this out there, but slightly controversial, but the Dynamite Kid.
Yeah.
I think with somebody like, it's a very up and down career. We can all admit he has a lot of highs.
Controversial.
I mean, that hasn't stopped WWE before. I mean, what is their motto?
That brings up a huge deal. And okay, I know a lot of people have differences of opinion on it. As far as his wrestling career, do you think it's about time for them to actually put Chris Benoit in the Hall of Fame? Or do you think that's something they're never going to do?
I don't think they're never going to do it. And unfortunately, it's in the sense that the best way I can describe it and this is somebody who is a huge fan of Benoit's work, and I try my best to separate art from artist, but very hard to separate it from that artist until after they're dead. But
Yeah.
Benoit is sort of in this niche area where it kind of goes without saying, like everybody knows and it's not going to happen. So we all know, but it boils down to the fact that Benoit is the kind of guy where we shouldn't remember him, but he's too iconic to forget.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where I'm like, now my caveat, and this is something that I think WWE needs to step into, and whether this is going to happen in the next coming years, I have no idea, but they need to put Nancy. This is the one that nobody's ready to talk about, is that Nancy Benoit should have her opportunity for her career in wrestling, for her opportunities and who she is as a person, and not just necessarily honoring her, but honoring the idea of somebody who was not involved in the decision of what happened that night. But
now I got a tag team.
That's not official.
They weren't necessarily WWE, but at the same time, because of the fact that they owned WCW, and Booker T was a huge part of WWE. What do you think about Harlem Heat?
That would be different. You know what? I think Stevie deserves his flowers. So yes, I would actually. That's a good one to pick, honestly. I think Booker's that. You know what? He needs something to pick him up after getting worst commentator of the year. Can we talk about that for a minute? Did you guys see the Pro awards?
Man, that's bad.
About that.
Well, if you're talking about commentators, what do you think about Michael Cole? Put him in.
You know what? Yeah, we got a lot. There's a lot of people still in wrestling. Like I know we've exercised a lot of other wrestlers, but there's still plenty of people outside that aren't just talent in the ring that get enough. You know what? Charles Wright, throw him in there. We need more referees. When was the last time we had a referee in the Hall of Fame?
Right.
Can anybody name one?
You guys mentioned Benoit. What about putting Jimmy Snuka back in?
After he was already proven to kill that chick, I really don't think they're ever going to do that because, he was found guilty of that. So there's a difference between speculation, and I'm not saying that.
Was he found guilty? I thought the charges were dropped.
No, he was found guilty. I think the only reason they never pushed it was because his health failed really bad, and it was literally right there at the end of his life. But he was found guilty from my understanding. As far as Benoit, though, there's still a lot of speculation of whether or not he actually done it. So I don't think we'll ever get real answers on that. I don't think we'll ever get whether or not he physically done it or it was a setup or whatever. There's just way too much.
Yeah, well, actually, with Snuka, he was found unfit to stand trial, and all charges were dropped.
Oh, how about Evolution? No, that's a good one. Well, okay, so that brings up Batista. Put Batista in the Hall of Fame. It's about time. He's been retired for a while.
I want to throw one last one, and then we can jump. Well, matter of fact, Haas, do you have any other ones that might make it in before we jump into our next question, or that you would like to see come in?
None off the top of my head. I've heard Vince McMahon's name being thrown around, but he's right there. In my opinion, all the trouble he's been through, he's right there with Batista and some of the others.
Ain't Stephanie already announced though? Ain't she coming in?
I'm not sure. Also, I just want to throw this out there because I want to be Mr. Pushes Up Glasses about this. Actually, but Ace, I actually just fact checked this. Owen is not in the WWE Hall of Fame.
He's not?
He is not. And from what I understand, it is because his wife is very in spite of WWE that they do not want to give them that luxury because that was the reason he.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, so.
Oh, I thought he was.
I'm sure they want to, but she's not giving them that luxury. But I have one last one to throw out, and we can jump into our next question. But I'd like to hear everybody's thoughts on it, especially because it seems like they're still relevant even to this day, the Hardy Boys. I think these guys are at that point where they can be the Hall of Famers who are still tag team wrestlers.
Yeah, but then you have to put Edge and Christian in, though, and then,
what I'm just saying is that Edge and Christian are currently with AEW. So I'm like, in terms of who's at arm's length, the Hardys are right there. And I think that'd be a pretty cool way to go about it. That's just me, though.
Yeah. No, not a problem. I kind of see where that would be kind of cool to put them in, though, really.
I'm just saying. That's my throwing in there. But we had a couple. Now, we're ready to jump into our next question.
All right. So let's put that randomizer and let's pull up another question here. All righty. So,
Did you want to take the lead on this one, Ace?
it said Jelly Roll was in attendance and called out at a TNA no surrender. Where do you think this will end? Well, let's see.
Now, I know as the biggest Jelly Roll fan on the Wrestle Talk podcast, you have a lot to say now. I'm just throwing you under the bus there, Chief. No, but genuinely from incorporating.
He's not really on the contract with anybody, though. So, I mean, honestly, WWE can't really say anything about celebrities. They're celebrities. They're not really under contract. Just because you associate with one pay-per-view does not mean you turn around and, you're just exclusive to that particular one. And prime example, like, look at Bad Bunny. He was there for, how about it, Jim? All right. So, you had Bad Bunny, then turn around. You had all the controversy with the Super Bowl and all this nonsense and everything. I don't know, man. I believe that celebrities are just kind of a thing of their own. They're allowed to pop up wherever they want to, and I really don't think that it should cause any backlash for him at all, really.
And then my concern is that the phrasing of that question makes me wonder, like, do they mean what will that lead to in terms of kayfabe, or do they just mean like did something controversial happen in recent memory? Because if it's kayfabe, then yes, I would absolutely love to see something happen because we know he's wrestled, which jury's still out on whether or not you like the match or not, but we got to keep the lights on, so we got to get the celebrities involved somehow.
Yeah, always. I mean, I think he did all right. I ain't taking nothing from his match or anything like that, or even from him as a talent. Bad Bunny killed it. Yeah, I agree. Bad Bunny actually killed it when he wrestled, Now, I got to admit, I didn't watch none of the halftime show. I watch football, okay? If I'm going to watch it, who cares who's singing? Unless it's like AC/DC or somebody, the hell with the halftime show. Just go straight to football. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really care who plays. As far as Bad Bunny, though, I don't know if this is going to lead to him having a match with AEW. And if it's something I really want to see, I mean, not really. I mean, I liked his little match. He was entertaining in WWE, but let's be honest, he's not a wrestler. It shows, and I don't believe that he needs to be trying to make like a habit out of it, especially in AEW, because let's be honest, I'm not a big fan of AEW. I think it's a joke, and I think that he's going to tarnish any fan base he had trying to do something in AEW, honestly.
Now, I hear your thoughts on AEW. I disagree. Only in the fact that I like the product to a degree. And it's because, and I'm sure the WWE drones will have my head for this, but it's the fact that they do offer a different product.
Oh, they do.
And the thing is everybody likes to make the comparison to WCW, and I get it. But I also understand that I'm like, they are acknowledging something that WCW did that worked for them, which is that they weren't looking for a better product, which at this point, I think they acknowledge they can't, or at least in terms of not as when they started and when Punk was still there, but they can give them a different product. And that is the only takeaway I have, is that I've honestly been preferring what they've been doing recently. Whether or not he goes there is up in the air. And as far as Jelly Roll goes, I'll be honest, I have no clue. I don't want to kind of show my hand here about the fact that I haven't been keeping up with TNA outside of one Dustin Wynn. I don't know if you guys have been catching this, but it's been the greatest thing ever. Our one and only Wynn Dragon appeared with Ash by Elegance. So he is the real Mr. Elegance. I don't care what anybody tells me. All right, Dustin Wynn, sign him, TNA, please.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as Jelly Roll goes, I mean, I think it really just comes down to if he wants to.
I mean, yes, and if he wants to, that's fine. Go for it like anybody else,
Admittedly, TNA could use the exposure. Let's be real.
Kinda. I mean, I like. It's not that I hate AEW. You know what I'm saying? I think there's stuff about it that is very entertaining, and then there's times where it just takes it way too far. And like you said, there's a big comparison to the very last days of WCW. And that's what gets me. It's, hit and miss with them. Love everything that MJF is doing right this minute. I'm a huge fan of his. I still love Jericho. Jericho is a big thing. I still like his matches. And I really haven't seen him do a lot here lately. But, Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm really glad we had you on standby, Ace. So it looks like Haas is having a little bit of trouble, which these things happen, and that's fine. But we're just going to keep busting his balls over the night. No, but no, I mean, I guess we can take a moment to throw it to the audience. I mean, what do you guys think? Where do you think this will lead as far as Jelly Roll goes? And just if we can throw it out there, what would you say, since we're on the topic of celebrities in pro wrestling? Okay, let's actually run with this. Jimmy Harris Sr. Celebrities did their one time and should be done unless they're going to put the time or training in could end up hurting talent. That is a very solid point.
Yeah. I mean, kind of looking, but then again, though, you had that lightning in a bottle, and God forbid I'm going to get some heat for this one. Logan Paul. Let's be honest, the man is talented. I don't care what nobody says about him. He has done more than half the talent has in just a very short time frame, and the man is good. So you have that very rare lightning in a bottle, but then at the same time, you really can't say a lot about like celebrities and stuff like that, because back when I was younger, half the roster was ex-football players.
I'm trying to think. That was WrestleMania 2, right? The Battle Royale.
Oh man, you had like so many, and look at like Mama Go McMichaels, and
the refrigerator. I'm trying to remember. What was his name?
Hell, Goldberg. You had everybody. A lot of them were NFL players and stuff before they even went. Even Brock Lesnar had his time in the NFL. That's
true. And I'm on the back of like we had. Oh boy, there was Mickey Rourke. That was a whole thing and a half during WrestleMania 25. Oh boy, there was Mayweather at one point, wasn't there?
Yeah, Mayweather against the Big Show.
That was okay. I'll be honest, I actually like David Arquette. Not necessarily for the booking decision, but when you hear the story that he actually donated the extra money he got to charity when he did that, and he was also telling everybody at WCW, "Hey, this is a really stupid idea." It kind of paints it in a better light. And that's another one, Lawrence Taylor.
There you go. He actually got into actual indie wrestling. He got in for a while. Now I'm going to bring this one up because I'm from Georgia, and he played right here in Georgia Tech. Roman Reigns played football. Yeah, he was a football player right here at Georgia Tech, and actually still holds the record here in Georgia. So that's right. We get claims on Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, baby.
But it really just, I don't know. It's the approach. I feel like these things are 50-50, but like you need the exposure. Because the thing is ultimately, Ace, what it boils down to, and you guys can quote me on this, but it's the fact that ultimately at its DNA, especially WWE, you can debate whether other pro wrestling companies do this and how they approach it. But WWE, in a nutshell, was built off of the back of its celebrities.
Exactly.
Because when you boil it down to the first WrestleMania, how many people do you remember showing up?
Oh, man, that was
Wendy Richter, Cyndi Lauper, Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
This was built off of the back of celebrities. The thing is I think we can all agree that at some point they kind of lost the car at some point, or the bus. They're behind it now. Because, we ended up, and I'll defend it. I think Lawrence Taylor did a fantastic job during that. And, Bam Bam Bigelow got the main event at WrestleMania. So how many people are going to remember that?
Exactly.
But I think it's just the approach and just the care. It's the amount of potential they want to put into something like this to try and get out of it. So really I think it just falls on Jelly Roll, and like he seems like a decent guy, so he's doing a lot. Nothing personal. It's really not that deep.
All right, so before we jump on the next one, though, let's go ahead and bring in our FWW segment. We got the one in the back, so it's about time we'll bring him in real quick.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the FWWC segment of the Wrestle Talk podcast. Mr. Dewan Mills, the CEO. Welcome to the show, man. Do we not have any music for this man? It's the CEO. What are we doing?
Yeah, we got music for him. Wait a minute now.
We got something. There's got to be like 20 switches back there. What's going on?
Man, there's all sorts of crap. Hang on. Wait.
This is a comedy bus.
Here, we'll just cheer for it.
There you go. Time out for the theme songs. Time out for the theme songs. Time out for the theme songs. Waste everybody's time.
Look here, man. We'll be here all night telling jokes, man. I tell you what.
Especially about horse riders.
Damn good show, y'all, man. Some great questions, some great input, especially about that Hall of Fame deal, man. Y'all are rocking and rolling this shit.
Since we're talking about it, actually, Dewan, I got to throw this at you, Mr. CEO. Who do you think should be in the Hall of Fame for WWE going forward?
Man, that is a very, very, very good question.
And out of the names we listed, who would you like to see? So we had a couple.
You guys already said The Rock, right?
Yeah, he said The Rock.
Okay, good. Yeah, I would kind of agree with that one. Shit.
We had Bam Bam Bigelow. We had Miss Elizabeth. Technically, we had Owen Hart, but like I said, I don't know how that's going to happen. I said Nancy Benoit. That's just me.
Right.
I think I said Charles Wright at some point. I recommended the Hardy Boys. That's just me. And I think we mentioned Kane, and we had another one. Oh, you mentioned Harlem Heat. That's right.
Yeah, Harlem Heat. That's another good one too. Because I think they're not it, but Booker T's in it, right?
Yeah, Booker T's in.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Well, let's give him another one. Right?
I don't know. Honestly, loaded question.
Matter of fact, I just want to throw this out there. If we can make a joke out of it, let's make him the 5-time Hall of Famer. All right, we got Booker T, we got Harlem Heat, we got King Booker, we got GI Bro, and we need one more.
He's a commentary now too. So who do you mean is a commentary?
Nah, it's got to be a gimmick, man. I'm trying to think.
I mean, come on now. He is a gimmick, even as a damn commentator. That ducky, whatever he says. Like, come on.
He is not a gimmick, my friend. He is Trick Williams' hype man, because this man is the reason this dude is pumped out. We can do this all night. All right.
So,
who would you say is a probably solid pick and your choice for the Hall of Fame?
So I got two of them. First one. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. If they're in, they're good. If not, okay. Jim Cornette.
I have to double check. I don't think he is, actually. Hold on.
I don't think he wants to be, though, really. I mean.
Why, though? I mean.
I don't know. I mean, if you listen to any of his stuff, though, he is steady bashing WWE and wrestling and all sorts of stuff. He's not,
And another controversial one.
He has not. I just fact-checked it. He's not in the Hall of Fame. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Controversial.
Oh, boy.
Since we're on the other side, Eric Bischoff.
Actually, I agree with that one. That's a good one.
I just need him to come back. You guys are hearing the theme song right now.
That's
it.
100%.
No, I know I can't say.
What do you think about Shane McMahon? Not Vince, but Shane. Because, Stephanie's going in. Might as well put Shane.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't even know how to feel about Stephanie going in. Like, I mean, I get it, but I'm also kind of like, to me, that Hall of Fame introduction feels like the most patting yourself on the back about it. It's like, yeah, you're the daughter of the guy who built the business that you're capitalizing off of.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Straight up.
But, Mr. CEO, we've talked high spots, but we are here to talk business. So the FWWC, we have recently had our break to honor a recently deceased member of the FWWC roster, when Ayla, our fallen, aka Hitsune Yoko. And we are ready to get back into gear and start rocking and rolling with, I believe it is Iron Inferno coming up.
That is correct, man. That is correct, man. So last night we had a welcome to the main roster. Xander Payne took on Dark Horse, non-title match, hardcore match. We also had, hopefully if I'm saying the name right, Tamara the Queen Witch went against Bad. Unfortunately, neither one of them got the victory, but it is good to see some new blood here in the FWWC. And like I said before, man, some great things is about to pop off. FWWC Iron Inferno is going to be next Saturday at, thank God, 6 p.m. Central. Hate these 1 o'clock p.m. pay-per-views. I can go into a whole rant about that. But next Saturday, 6 p.m. Central, FWWC Iron Inferno. We have one match, and let me kind of break this down real quick because it was our first night back. It was our first challenge of season 13, and we're kind of dusting off things. We're kind of putting oil where oil needs to be, and sometimes you miss out on things. Apparently, at the end of the night, there was a brawl with Bishop and Nathaniel Jones, and shit got ugly, and I did my best to try to prevent it. I heard about, I've been watching the promos. If you ain't took a look at it, man, go look at Bishop's promo and go look at Nathaniel Jones' promos, man. It has been one hell of a program for the FWC World Heavyweight title. Those guys has been given the heat since last year. But last night, man, it got out of hand. And I got to be honest, man, again, rusty, trying to get things going. It's the first night, got the new guys starting. I was off my game. But as the CEO, I'm here to fix things. So my first announcement of the evening is that next Saturday, the FWWC heavyweight title will be decided. Bishop, our current champion, will be putting against none other than Nightmare Jones, who he will be Nightmare Jones. But after what I saw last night, man, I can't really rock and roll with, it was just too damn risky. The way things went down, man, it was just we can't deal with that. So what's going to happen is this match will be unsanctioned by the FWWC. What does that mean? We are not responsible for the things that happens from bell to bell. And the referee's only job for that match is to decide a winner. It can be by pinfall. It can be by submission. One of the competitors may not be able to continue. It can happen in the ring. It can happen out the ring. It can happen in the street. It can happen on the roof. It can happen in the alleyway. It can happen in the graveyard. This match is unsanctioned, and the referee's job has one thing only, is to decide a winner. That is it. Unsanctioned by the FWC, so says the CEO. Now, boys, come back in here real quick, if you can, because this next announcement is for you two. So, there is a second match. Now, I was going to kind of sit on this one, until we got the official match card up, which the official match card for FWC Inferno will be up this week. And I was going to sit on this one, but since you guys have been doing one hell of a mother-loving job, I'm going to give it to you. It's time to start having conversations about Tag Team Gold. Our current double champions, Hoss Mafia, our FWC Tag Team champions, Sister Hoss, Badass American Diva, International Champion, Hardcore Hoss, also the Hardcore Champion, double titles, been killing it since last year, but it's time to have a conversation about these tag team titles. So at FWWC Iron Inferno, it will be in a non-title match, our double champions, Hoss Mafia, versus how they're returning and victorious last night, House of Horrors, and none other than the men you see before you, Assassin Syndicate. Does this match have title implications? Maybe. Does it mean that whoever wins this match will be a number one contender? I don't know. I just want to see some shit go down, and it's time to get this tag team division rolling. So, I suggest you have the night of your life, boys. You're going to need it.
You hear this, mayonnaise? Come on. I gotta reel about this. It's just funny at this point. All right. Do you not know what we're capable of, Mr. CEO? I think I should just throw this out there, Ace. We are still looking for that W over House of Horrors. We are currently 3 tied times. We are still looking for that W, and I don't know that we squared up against Hardcore Hoss and Susie Hoss individually. We've always been in multi-man matches.
Yeah, it's always been like different people in it and stuff like that. So I don't think we've ever had a one-on-one with them.
So we have everything to gain in this opportunity. And granted, whether that's in an Iron Inferno match, whether that's a standard tag trio rules, we still get. Oh yeah, okay, Susie, that's right.
Always. You got to admire the confidence, though. I mean,
of course. I mean, look, the woman has 2 belts on her shoulders. That's fine, but eventually the adults have to step in. Okay.
Yeah, And that was only keeping them warm for us anyway. We've already told them that. From the time they won, they're only keeping them warm for us. Technically, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. Even though we're going to have somebody nameless here, I was actually supposed to have already had the tag team titles on me. But all because my partner decided he was going to dip out and haul ass on us and everything, I was left out of that match. Now, I could have went and done that by myself and still been a tag team champions and held both of them. Let's see. Ace and I have 1-on-1. Oh, yeah. We've had several of them. Come on, we ain't talking about tag teams here.
Exactly. It's not 1-on-1 this time around, Susie. All right, you got to watch your back. And the thing is I have Ace to cover mine, right?
And you got to keep in mind, I took on House of Horrors by myself and beat both of them. How many times by myself? To where it took the House Mafia together 8, 9 different times to do it. Come on now, we got this.
That's all I got to say about that.
We are not cocky, Mr. CEO. We are confident, all right, in
That's
our
right.
ability. But while I have you still here, I would like to throw some
Wow, that was I don't know what that was.
hardcore Hoss. If you're here with us now, please
I know, right? We got a whole
join us from beyond the grave. No, I'd like to take this opportunity, Mr. Mills, because as your current Warriors Heart champion, but also as your free agent Warriors Heart champion, well, we did discuss this earlier that yes, I will be available for Iron Inferno. It was at the caveat that I would have the opportunity to challenge somebody in the FWC roster for a match of my choosing. Now, for those of you, I like to consider myself a pro wrestling connoisseur to spotlight the best that the world of professional wrestling has to offer, not just WWE. I don't care what people tell you. New Japan exists, CMLL exists, AEW exists, DPW exists. I could go on for hours and hours and hours. But the match that I am looking forward to, that I want to throw out there, that is February 27th, Trenton, New Jersey. It is the new beginning for New Japan Pro Wrestling. They are returning here to the United States, and yours truly will be squaring up. This is an exhibition match. This is not for the Warriors Heart Championship, but this is for anybody on the FWWC roster who thinks they have what it takes to step up. And the thing is, with this new crop of NXT talent, or excuse me, FED talent. I got a little excited there, but for this crop of FED talent, I want to see who's ready, willing, and able to step up to show everybody what they have to prove here. All right, whether this is implications later after I beat Ace at Mania, whether this is somewhere down the road prior to Mania, sir, I'm confident in my ability, okay? But this is your opportunity. If I get solo screen real quick, I want to take this opportunity. FWWC roster. FEB roster. This is your Warriors Heart champion throwing this out to you. Do you have what it takes to step into the ring with Gabriel Arsene at New Beginning? If so, let me know. Because if you got what it takes, then I need you to just bring it. But I'm going to remind you that at the end of the day, no matter what you have to offer, you're not me. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we can handle that when it comes. Iron Inferno, yours truly, and Ace will be the ones to walk out victorious. And you know what? We'll have this discussion later. I know you said there was no implication about it, Mr. Mills, but when we take this after we stack those teams on top of each other, we're looking forward to our tag team championship match.
Hold on, because I gotta get her too, because I gotta check dinner. But hey, Ace, I like how he threw that shit in there. Yeah, when I go to Universe Mania and beat Ace, and I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Like,
I mean, I love this. I love this version because let's be honest, man. Up until this year, up until this season, every time we've even had even a one-on-one or even anything, I didn't see that kind of confidence, and look what it done. He got his ass handed to him every single time. So on this one, if you beat me, then hey, I give you all the props. But if history repeats itself, all that confidence is not good enough.
It ain't about confidence. It's about drive, my friend. And I have grit because at the end of the day, yes, you may have bested me more than once, but I have always gotten back up. And every single time, I feel like it's Tommy Dreamer versus Raven. I get closer every single chance I get. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, I got your number.
We'll see.
But you know what? We got to put that beside ourselves because we got tag team shit to get done.
There you
Come
go.
on, Inferno.
And it will get done at FWWC Inferno. Gentlemen, like I said before, be tuned in this week. The card will drop this week. And we're going to get shit rolling, man. If there's anything else I need to say, man, have a great night. Continue to have a great show, man. You guys are killing this shit for sure.
Yes, sir.
Tell the fam I love them, man.
All day. Thanks.
Take it easy.
The FWWC, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. CEO Dewan Mills.
Oh,
We are currently closing in about 1 hour here, Ace. We're crushing it. As you guys can see, Haas is really fighting with his internet right now. This is why these things happen. But you know what? Like I said earlier, I'm just glad you were here to hold this out for us, Ace. And you know what? I definitely think our guest is going to be excited to talk to you. I think you seem like the kind of guy he would be friends with immediately.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to it. So.
Now, I gotta ask, at this moment in time, do you think we're ready to jump in? We can jump into our last couple high spot segments before we reach our second hour, but I believe there's a certain segment that one night owl likes to make sure we never forget this time around. So if we have music, I would like to jump into it if we're able to.
Okay. So let me find the music here. Let's see.
Let me know when it's highlighted, but I just want to spotlight this because tonight I think we both have a little bit what we want to get off of our chest in regards to everything that's happening in the world today. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're ready for a shoot and shout segment.
Let me find the shoot and shout segment. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Because last time, that's what I had a problem with, trying to find it on here. And that's why I wish Hoss was here. Okay, so shoot and shout.
Look, you gonna make excuses or solutions?
I'm gonna make both at the moment.
There we go. Well, you cut it off. There was more to it.
Oh no, I ain't gonna. Here we go. We're just gonna run this one because at this moment I am.
It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Everything is fun, everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet's to stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days.
Oh man,
we haven't heard that in a long minute, man. This is one of the funnier segments. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, this is the shoot and shout segment of the FWC. This is the opportunity. We're in the middle of the podcast where whether it has to do with pro wrestling or whether it doesn't, this is our opportunity for you to say just exactly what's been in your chest. And you know what, Ace, I feel like you've been chomping on the bit because I can tell you got a lot on your mind, especially after recovering from a sickness. So why don't you start us off for tonight?
I got you, man.
You got it. If you have your own personal shoot and shout segment, throw it in the comments here tonight. I know everybody's got something to complain about.
All right, I'm going to complain about these damn hypochondriacs. Now, I've been getting over the flu for the past 2 weeks, okay? But then every time I went to a clinic, every time I've tried to go anywhere to get some kind of medication, you have all these snotty little Karens up there with the badass little kids piled up in there constantly. Oh, because little buddy's got a little nosebleed or something really stupid. Dope his ass up with a shot of liquor, some Robitussin, and send him home, okay? Don't sit there and, like, run up there and pile up and take up all this room up there in the hospitals, all because little Johnny got a damn cold or something, okay? You got people really sick, really having a flu. There was actually a bunch of people up there with pneumonia and running high fevers, and you got somebody over there with a little sniffle. And I'm like, oh my God, dude, give him some cough medicine, send him home, okay? And I understand for like new parents and stuff like that, they freak out when their kids are sick. But at the same time, man, get over it, okay? Just because little buddy's got a little bit of a sniffle, don't mean you rush him to the hospital. That's my shoot and shout.
Here we go. Certainly something to come with. Haas? All right, never mind.
I know he was in there.
I definitely think we can agree we know what Haas's shoot and shout is going to be about here tonight. But unfortunately, we're not going to be able to hear it until we can get a connection solid enough. But as for me, I have a bit of a pointed one here tonight, and I'm going to try my best to keep this as non-applicable as possible just because I don't want this to be documented to me in a court case. But let's just say I have a bit of gears to grind with a certain individual in regards to my job. And I will not be naming names and I will not be naming designations as far as their positions. But I just want to say, for the love of God, get off of my back. All right. I have been busting my ass constantly. And it's the sort of thing where they're a very good person when you're scratching their back because they will scratch yours. But every now and then you get a hiccup and they want to bust your balls over the slightest infraction and turn a mountain into a molehill. So quite frankly, man, take a fucking chill pill. I am doing the best of my ability, and I feel like you want to underestimate what I have to do in my line of work because, there's no such thing as a bad store, just a bad mentality. No, fuck off. There are bad stores. There are bad customers. There are bad managers. It is a pain in the ass, especially this time around, because right now the economy sucks. So forgive me if I have a couple of issues where I slip up every now and then to where you got to feel the need to individually run over my nuts with a steamroller, okay? So, quite frankly, from everybody working this program that I am, fuck off and let me do what I can the best way that I can do because I don't want to sit there and tell you how you do your job at the corner stop. But that's neither here nor there. But that's my shoot and shout segment. If we can actually pull that back up, what's AJ Wallace?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Spot like this. He said, I definitely got a big complaint about Stephen E. and Devastation Inc. injuring my friend Bobby D. That's horrible. A few weeks ago, and not only they injuring my friend, but Lucky P. Larson and Travis Cook keep calling me wacko or intern or shogun or boomerang or anything else. I already told them I am not a professional wrestler or a mass professional wrestler. I am a paid professional wrestling fan, and I am so angry about what Devastation Inc. and Stephen E. did to Bobby D. was absolutely respectable, and they should. I don't know where that continues from there. But AJ Wallace, from everybody here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, we feel you, brother, and we hope that they get their just desserts when it comes to Stephen E. And sorry, I was looking for it. There we go. Devastation Inc. You think I just read it and I fucking immediately forgot about it. What am I doing? But I think we've definitely been, doing our best here, and I hope we didn't, scare anybody away with how often I swear. But with our shoot and shout, be sure to keep commenting yours in the bottom if you feel like you got something to really get off your chest, or hit us up and send us a link. We'd absolutely love to spotlight you. But with that, Ace, are you ready to jump into our next high spots question?
We are. Let's see. I thought Hoss is backstage doing the board, but I will definitely pull this back up here. All right, so we're gonna hit the randomizer. We're gonna scroll up in here. Are you happy with AJ Lee's current come and go nature in the WWE?
Do you want to take the lead on this, or should I?
I mean, I was really never much of a fan of her. I like her, don't get me wrong, but I really wasn't that big of a fan. So I really didn't like her career a whole lot. And then when she come back, I believe that she kind of almost has that CM Punk effect. Like, okay, you're here.
I mean, it's fitting. That's her husband.
Well, yeah, but I mean, to me, it kind of gives the same vibe. Like, did anybody really want her to come back? I mean, I can tolerate her better than I can the Bellas. Don't get me wrong. I like AJ. I mean, she's psycho. She's good. I love it. But, I mean, kind of giving the Bella vibes in a way. I mean, nobody really cares. I mean, either do something with it. She ain't done nothing but mess with, like, Becky Lynch at this moment. I mean, if that's all you're going to do is toy around with Becky Lynch, then what was the point in coming back? I mean, is it going to be like a one-off, or are you actually going to make a career, comeback and put on some really good matches with some of these newer stars, or just waste your time with Becky Lynch?
No, I was going to say, so is that your biggest hang up, is that you would rather she commit to a schedule or just make it a one-off and don't leave us hanging?
Kind of.
I mean, craving for more.
Yeah, like do one of the two. Either you're going to make a comeback and make sure that that's something you're going to do and commit to, or you're just going to do this one-off with Becky Lynch and then be done with it. Just make it clear, though. You know what I mean?
I can definitely understand that. No, the thing is, too, is that the phrasing of that is very difficult to answer, only because she's done a little bit, and it's not bad. She has done a lot in that little bit, but it does make you wonder if she's living up to the potential of the return. Because the pop when she came back was there, and I feel like everybody was expecting it, but I don't know if they've rode the momentum as much as they should. I mean, I know she had the feud with Becky, and she helped with the whole losing of the IC title, I believe. I haven't been keeping up. But I also feel like they kind of dropped the ball on that, only because they have – actually, I mean, maybe this is up to AJ. Maybe she doesn't want to win a title belt. Maybe she just exclusively wants to do so. But realistically – the thing that I think would take her to the next edge. So I guess in short, to answer the question, I think it's been fine. It's been okay. And that's not, anything disregarding what she has done or what she hasn't done. It's just that I feel like she could do more. And I feel like everybody knows she could do more. And I feel like AJ knows she could do more. Whether or not she wants to, especially at the tail end of her career, is up to her. But I really do think she could have something potential like other returning stars like Lita or Trish or any of the other returning Beth Phoenix, so to speak. And the thing is she has more of an opportunity to make an impact because women's wrestling has the potential. They have more of a platform. We have 2 mid-card titles and 2 world titles and tag team titles. So it's one of those things where I'm like, and then that's not even including NXT. So it's one of those things where I think the best way to put her on the spot in terms of feeling like she's not wasting her time there, and I don't mean that like that, but I just mean in that she could be doing more, is having her challenge for a world title. especially because, I'll be honest, in terms of the women's world title scene, they need some genuine contenders. I know Stephanie McCare got the win over Bella, but let's be real here. She needs a couple more credible names to her list.
True.
It's like I feel like she hasn't crossed that threshold. She's a champion, but I don't know if she's main event level yet. And that's because we know who our main event stars are in the pro wrestling, in WWE, which is your Becky Lynch's, your Bianca Belairs, your Rhea Ripley's. And I feel like until she hits that, she won't be there. And the thing is that while Bella is a good way to start, a lot of fans have hangups on Bella. And that's only down to the fact that, yeah, she's Hall of Fame material, but it was during that really weird part during wrestling for women, which no fault of her own. They made it work, but
I don't think anyone in the Hall of Fame. Honestly, I don't like the Bellas. I think they really wasted it, and I think they was just no talent whatsoever. Outside of WWE, yeah, they did great on TV, but as far as in the ring, very predictable, very boring, just not something I pay attention to. As far as AJ, I would love to see her win like the Intercontinental title, maybe, not a world title. And the reason I say this is because then you have the same issue you got with CM Punk. Who would have benefited more winning that world title than CM Punk? CM Punk didn't need that. And you know, everybody knows how I feel about him. I can't stand CM Punk. I never liked him even back then. My problem with him is there was so many younger talent that could have stepped up and taken that spot and taken that win instead of CM Punk. And I believe that he is doing just like he always has. He's got to be in the spotlight. He's very selfish. And if AJ don't pay attention, she's going to wind up doing the same thing. She's going to wind up going right back over there being just this whole glory hog with a title. And I mean, when there's other talent that could be put in that spot.
Now, I actually spotlighted this during one of our conversations, but I'll throw that out there in just a sec. I can definitely understand where you're coming from in that sense, but I do think we're at a bit of a shifting of the guards when it comes to it. So while I do understand that, yes, there is potential for somebody else winning the world title, and I think when it comes to the two belts, the World Heavyweight Championship should be the experimental belt. The fact that Gunther's won it twice, Jey Uso won it once, and we've had a couple people win it in between. I think it works at the very least because he's not holding the world championship or the WWE championship rather. But I do agree that I don't know how many people are at that level yet. Because I'm like, how many people are left besides Cody and Randy that are like,
that's the thing, though. You put yourself in the hole because you're putting it right back on somebody that really don't need the win, like Roman Reigns. Nobody wants to see that match. I'm sorry, that's just going to be a boring match. You got somebody who really wasn't that. I mean, and I like Roman Reigns. I do. I love his character, but let's be honest, he's very limited as far as his moves. CM Punk's old, and I'm guaranteeing you he's going to tear half his damn limbs trying to get in the ring, trying to even have that match with Roman Reigns. I just don't believe that that's a match people really want to see. And I don't think it needed to happen. I think somebody like younger, somebody who needs to step up and can definitely boost their career off of a win on somebody like CM Punk. And you got to think of how selfish that is of CM Punk to sit there and be like, oh, I'm not going to win the title except for against somebody like Cody or somebody like Roman Reigns or somebody. You know what I'm saying? If you're unwilling to lose the title to somebody else that could use that push, then you're just selfish and you don't need it to begin with. You're getting that Hogan treatment, and that's just, I think that's what I think of him. He's got that snotty Hogan attitude. And let's be honest, he really hadn't lost to anybody major since he's been there. That's pathetic. You know what I'm saying? You got some 46-year-old man who tore every damn muscle in his body his first match back, you know. Man, why are you going to put a bet on that, man?
The biggest loss would probably, I mean, I don't even know that he lost to him. That's the thing. I was like, I remember the feud with Drew, and that was fine, but, like, I'm pretty sure he won that at the end, didn't he?
Yeah, he still won. He won against, matter of fact, he's won almost every single one of them he's been in, even with some of the younger stars. I mean, think of the push they could have got by winning against CM Punk. I mean, CM Punk's supposed to come back and give back to the business. He ain't done nothing. He's been selfish winning the belt, and he's been selfish with the matches. He ain't really lost a lot since he's been there.
Now, if I can throw an opportunity out there for AJ, what I think is that while, yes, I think she's a commodity as a loss, I think genuinely if somebody like Vaquer or even Jade Cargill for that matter, they stand to gain by beating her, at least once. But I think there's more potential in a story if AJ beats one of them. And I know we're not trying to keep her in the main event scene as possible, but this is something that I think a lot of professional wrestling is lacking, specifically WWE, is that how do these new stars deal with loss? Because the thing is that nobody's ever ready for that potential because they're always building it up to the point where they get the belt. And then what ends up happening? They're not chasing anymore and it goes down. Yeah. So the thing is I feel like they're stagnated. And the best way to approach that is either you have to give them a talent to beat, which again, if they do that for AJ, that's fine. And they can turn it into an angle if they want to. But a very big story comes out of the fact of the veteran coming back and calling them a fraud or, pointing out the holes in their armor to the point where they have to tell them, oh, I'm better than you because I'm more experienced. And if somebody like that, especially for McCare, where she can take the first loss and lose the belt to where she can start building the program back up and beating AJ down the line, I think there's more potential there. But I'm also not picky about it to the point where if she beats her the first time, I don't really care. That's credibility. That's something either way. You either give it to her now and that does something, or you can save it for later and you can make a bigger storyline out of it. But that's just me.
Yeah, sure. All right, so we got our guest coming over.
I believe so. Is he in the back?
He is actually in the back here.
So ready. Here, hold on, wait. We got to get the music ready, man. We can't just throw this man in here. All right.
We got to do our sponsors real quick, don't we? Before the second half or second.
This is true. Right. Did you want to handle them this time, bud?
All right. The Wrestle Talk Podcast would like to thank all of our great sponsors. We would like to thank Retro Zone Painter's Dream Production, the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Doomed Outfitters, owned by yours truly, World Domination Wrestling Alliance, and the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group. Guys, if it wasn't for these sponsors, we could not do what we're doing here. So thanks, everybody, for all their contributions and supporting us as long as you have. All right.
Fantastic. All righty. So we have officially reached our second hour here in the Wrestle Talk Podcast in episode 537, and we have a fantastic guest lined up here tonight. I know he's been aching at the opportunity to talk to us, and I know I've been aching at the opportunity to talk to this man. And I would just want to take a moment to say, Susie Haas, thank you so much for setting up this interview because we have a big one here tonight. So for the unfamiliar, this is a man who is known as the American Gigolo. He is part of the Southern Six. That includes the Thrillbilly Silas Mason and the future legend Kerry Morton. He is a NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion, a 2024 Crockett Cup winner. He is the man, the one, the only, often imitated, never duplicated, Alex Taylor.
All right,
gentlemen.
Where's the music? Now, we had music for him, but
where's my music, man?
I don't know.
So this is professional work, Ace. What are we doing, man?
All right, it's all right.
I'm sorry, Alex.
Oh, no worries.
Dang. You can get this working?
No.
Of course. All right. What else is working here tonight? All right. You know what it is? You know who's working tonight? Me and Ace are working. And you know who else is working? Alex Taylor. Pleasure to have you on the show, man.
Oh, pleasure to be here.
Oh, man. It's nice meeting you. I know Hoss is ready to interview you. I know he had a bunch of questions, but he's having some technical difficulties and he ain't able to do it. So
he's got that dial-up internet, I heard.
Yeah.
There in Virginia somewhere.
He's back on AOL. We're talking 2000s internet with the dial-up.
Well, I got booked through MySpace, so I assumed it was something like that.
Right. No, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. And on behalf of the Wrestle Talk Podcast, thank you for your time, man. I know you're very busy with your schedule, and I can tell with what you're doing right now. I'm hoping to get all the answers that we can get because everybody in the audience is ready to hear from you, man.
Oh, let's do it.
So just to kind of throw you a couple softballs out there, I got my notes here. Don't mean to cheat, so I just want to let you know that that's why I'm looking off camera. But let's start with something simple. I got to throw this out there, but the American Gigolo. So that's the statement, I'm assuming, right? The nickname?
Yeah, I don't know how that got around on the internet. I've never called myself that. It's too hot to trot. That is
too hot to trot.
I think Kyle Davis might have called me the American Gigolo at some point, but it never stuck. Never a big fan of it, but hey, I'll take it.
He still use my old flip.
And then we have the exclusive on that. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is not the American Gigolo. I apologize. That is the Too Hot to Trot, Alex Taylor.
Yes,
But
sir.
we can go from there. So I just want to take the moment to mention that you are part of the Southern Six. So between Thrillbilly Silas Mason and the future legend Kerry Morton.
Oh yeah, the hottest faction in the world today, the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, Thrillbilly Silas Mason. Me and Kerry, former NWA US Tag Team Champions, we won the damn Crockett Cup, baby. We're gonna win it again this year.
Not to mention, not just the Crockett Cup, you guys defeated Kratos and Odinson in the finals. And these are actually some gentlemen I actually follow on Instagram. And Ace, if you have the opportunity to check these, man, they are built like brick shit houses. All right, it is not an easy feat to tackle these, but if anybody can do it, it is the Southern Six. So just
we whooped their asses.
So as somebody who's going into our tag team matches for the FWWC, is there any advice on what goes into tag team psychology? Now, as somebody who is a singles champion, does that translate well into it? And are there any at odds, or do you guys kind of read each other's mind, so to speak, if that makes sense?
Me and Kerry have peak chemistry. We've been all over the world tagging together. So it's like reading each other's minds. And I mean, that just comes with experience. I always get asked the question, which I prefer, tag team wrestling or singles, but I feel like we're great at both. So why limit ourselves to picking one?
Right. I can definitely hear that. Now, I have to ask, between the two and Kratos and Odinson, just got to ask, who do you think hits the hardest between the two? And who would you rather not take a bump from?
They both hit pretty hard. Gun to my head, which one hits harder would probably be Kratos. Yeah. Bare knuckle fighter in his spare time. So
I had a sneaking suspicion it was going to be that. I don't know if you guys caught the match he had with one Killer Cross, where he said, "This ain't WWE, bitch," and just chopped the ever-loving crap out of him. So
yeah,
I can imagine that takes a couple layers off your chest after that.
Oh yeah.
Now I want to throw this out there on winning the Crockett Cup. It puts your names next to the legends like the Midnight Express and the Road Warriors. And since winning that with Kerry, do you feel like a tag team specialist who happens to be a singles champ, or a tag gold, the just logical next step for the Southern Six to hold all the gold? And beyond that, what other, what's the next step for the Southern Six?
I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the tag titles are next to me and Kerry. The Crockett Cup's coming up again this year. I think we become the first ever 2-time Crockett Cup winners. And then, that puts us right in line. We should already be front of line for the tag team titles, but there's a whole conspiracy. The NWA does not want us to have the world tag team titles, because with us having them and Thrillbilly having the world title, we essentially have more power than Billy Corgan, and he doesn't want that. But we're going to take it. We're just going to figure it out.
As somebody who's currently holding the Warriors Heart Championship hostage for the Wrestle Talk, or for the FWWC, I know where you're coming, buddy. It helps to have the biggest poker chip in the game.
Oh yeah, because they're already paying us the most money. We're the ones that put all the asses in the seats. We have all the gold there. We hold it all. So
I don't know the discrepancy, man. I mean, that's what you would do back in the day. So I don't know why they feel the need to fight us on it, right? We're bringing the people to the say, what else do you want? You want to eat dinner with me? I'm sorry, but we're here to wrestle. Now, I have to ask. Now, it is too hot to trot, not the American Gigolo. We've clarified that. But either way, too hot to trot carries a certain swagger to it. So was there a certain specific moment or a piece of advice that made you realize this persona was the right fit for you and for the NWA landscape, or was this something that you developed beforehand? And did it evolve naturally from your time and your other previous endeavors? I read here Pro Wrestling Entertainment, you were PWE, or any of your others, or was this something that kind of developed later on? And to throw it out there, just from your experience, was there anybody who helped you kind of, find the catalyst for that character, so to speak, or excuse me, the natural progression of yourself?
I think Thrillbilly has been one of my biggest champions, helping me develop. But honestly, I just keep doing dumb shit and see what sticks. And
ain't that the truth?
It's kind of what's going right now, and it's still a work in progress every day.
I would imagine. Now, I want to ask, how did the name Hot to Trot come from? Was it just something you coined? Was it something that anybody else labeled you? Is it just something you do naturally in the ring?
I think that would be a Thrillbilly creation as well. I think he heard it in a song one day and told me And I was like, that's perfect. Let's run with that.
Definitely understand that. Now, you mentioned Thrillbilly. I have to ask, any key pieces of advice that he gave you? There's something that stands out specifically, because we can all imagine that there's a lot, but there's the one that you hold deepest that it still resonates with you. And for somebody like me who's getting into the wrestling industry.
I don't know. Thrilly, he's a savant, man. He says a lot of things, and a lot of it's dumb as hell. But every now and then he says something very wise. So it's kind of hard to.
And it's like Cat Williams says, you got to watch out for a smart, dumb guy.
Oh, yeah. It's not even that what he says is dumb. It's probably just too smart and I'm too dumb, so I don't understand anything. But every now and then I pick something up.
Now, I want to mention, as a junior heavyweight, do you think that people, I guess I want to ask is, what do you feel like you have to do to stand out amongst it? Because I know typically, in things like Mexico, junior heavyweights are looked a bit more favorably, but what do you feel like you have to do to stand out as a junior heavyweight in the face of heavyweight champions and first in the face of the NWA, excuse me?
Well, I think a lot of people assume junior heavyweight, they think stupid high spots and flips. And listen, I can do a 450, but it's not the best looking 450. So why am I going to do it? Why do I want to have the 30th best 450 in the wrestling business? So I just stay on the ground and I work like a main event wrestler. So that's just junior heavyweight to me is just the weight class. I mean, Floyd Mayweather made millions of dollars fighting at what weight? It wasn't heavyweight. I'm not a huge boxing fan, but I know that he was Conor McGregor.
Featherweight or something like
weight
that.
class. I know pro wrestling's different, but to me,
Not that different though.
Yeah. But in pro wrestling, the heavyweight title has always been the title. So UFC, you got all these weight classes, and but I don't know. At the time, junior heavyweight title was the goal. I've conquered that. I'm going to get that belt back eventually. But in the future, we're looking at other things. We're looking at the world tag team titles. We're looking at the television title. After a while, Thrilly might get tired of holding the world title. Maybe I want to hold it for a little bit. We'll see what happens.
I gotcha. I completely. And the thing is I feel like a lot of fans don't have that distinction between them, because the thing is it's easy to forget how many junior heavyweights ended up becoming world champion. My favorite example being Chris Jericho. You have your Rey Mysterios. You have the people that technically are considered small guys, despite the fact that 205 and under is still a pretty big guy to deal with. Like, I personally only weigh like about 180 myself. So anybody about 25 pounds bigger than that is big, and it's easy for wrestling fans to feel like they're bigger, despite the fact, bigger in different ways, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, the NWA, the weight limit is 25 for the junior heavyweight title. And the chump they made me wrestle, Slade, is that I lost the title to. Whatever, we'll review the tape. That brother was like 240 pounds. They didn't even make him get on a scale.
Right.
Brother was built like a tank. It's a whole, like I said, it's a whole conspiracy against me in the Southern Six.
Absolutely. And I feel like they are, in my experience, I feel like that kind of management always wants to take a peg out from people because of your potential. They're scared of the fact that you guys are capable of what you're doing. And quite frankly, I think they're just mad that you guys are dominating as well as you have been. So got to take every shortcut they can, despite the fact that they claim we do, right?
You're preaching gospel right now, man. I got
Absolutely.
no notes. Perfect.
Now, I as much as I want to take the lead on this, Ace, if you wanted to throw any questions his way, now's the opportunity, or just to say hi, man. As you can imagine, I always get excited about this kind of stuff, man.
I wasn't necessarily prepared to ask questions. I know John was, but from just a fan standpoint, I got to know, like, what sparked, like, your love, your interest in actual wrestling? What was your, that moment where you realized that's something that you wanted to do?
And to throw that out there, what was the hardest lesson you had to learn about professional wrestling?
Okay. Everyone always has the story of like when they flipped it on the first time, and I don't have anything like that. As long as I can remember from a kid, wrestling was always on at my house. WCW. And then when WCW got bought out, I think my dad wanted about a week strike of the WWF but then the week after that, it was on. So we never really missed any wrestling. I just remember always being super excited for Monday nights. I'm trying to think. Big wrestling fan. About high school is about the time you kind of playing football. I mean, I'm more interested in getting laid, so I don't go to school talking about wrestling anymore. So, because some reason that wasn't the coolest thing. So I fell out for a while, and then one day I just turned it back on, and it was great. I went to college, and apparently they want you to pass your classes to stay in college, which I didn't know. No one told me. They want you to go to class. It sucks. So I left college. I came back home, and I'm living with my parents, and I'm thinking, this sucks, working in a factory job. So I just decided one day, hey, I'm going to go be a pro wrestler. I saw that Seth Rollins had opened a school up in Iowa. So me not paying attention in school, I don't know geography very well. I didn't know Iowa was 8 hours away from me. But threw all my stuff in my 2000 Isuzu Rodeo, made that trip. And a boy from Tennessee is not used to driving on ice, so I showed up in the middle of a snowstorm, so that was cool.
No slipping, thankfully, right?
No, yeah. Tires were bald as hell, too, but I got lucky.
So, like, growing up, though, who was that one wrestler? Because, I mean, we all had our favorite, the one that kind of, inspired us, I guess, more to get into it. Was there one for you that really stood out that you wanted to kind of be like, or just really inspired you to get into it more?
Shawn Michaels. To throw at the opposite end, was there anybody that you couldn't stand for one reason or another?
Man. Well, I guess that peak time when I was a kid, like that 2003, 2004 Triple H, I hated him so much.
Reign of Terror?
Oh, yeah. But
boy.
Now it's just like, man, how great was he? You look back differently at it, but
definitely got everybody to hate him, that's for sure.
But yeah, Shawn Michaels, Eddie Guerrero, there was a handful of guys. Yeah, I was a big Billy Gunn fan. I think the Ass Man theme was just awesome. So
I'm humming it right now in my head.
Yeah. Oh man, that 2002 to like 2004-ish SmackDown was. I mean, everyone's got their opinions of like when they were a kid, this was the best era, this was the best era. I'll hold that era of SmackDown up against anything. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, that was actually the time when I was a young in our scene watching professional wrestling. And unfortunately, I was the target demographic for one John Cena. So when everybody thinks about the C Nation being about it, I was like, okay, but I was that guy. But that mid-2000s professional wrestling and ruthless aggression, that's where I started. So I can definitely appreciate that, especially if it's 2004 Shawn Michaels, because I think we can all agree that's the person to be, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, he's the man.
I don't know. I grew up watching like Flair and Hogan and all them, so that was kind of that was my thing back then.
Yeah, I think now obviously you go back and you watch all that stuff, and you can appreciate how great it was. Like I love watching old midnight matches, Rock and Roll Express matches, but there's something about like for me watching those early 2000s because it's nostalgic. 'Cause I remember watching it on UPN in my parents' living room floor, eating my cereal. I think pro wrestling fans just love nostalgia.
Oh yeah. Well, see, I was already pretty much fixing to graduate high school when all that come along. So for me, it was like what they considered more the golden age, and then on into the Attitude with The Rock and Stone Cold and stuff like that. But man, growing up, there was nothing like seeing Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair and all them. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, I want to mention this. So you have actually trained in the school of Seth Rollins, but I also have a note here of Merrick Brave.
Oh yeah, Merrick Brave.
So I wanted to throw this at. It's a hell of a calling card, but what is one specific piece of you were studying under Black and Brave, correctly?
Yes.
So what would you say is a bit of philosophy that they instilled in you to apply to your matches today that some people might not notice at first?
Hell, man, we're talking about a decade ago. I can barely remember what I ate for dinner last night. I would be a terrible coach at anything because I'm very good at hearing and retaining information for me. But when someone asks me how I do something, I'm just like, just do it. I don't know. So
Nike, we got your new spokesperson. Just do it. It's fine. Figure it out.
I don't know if I have a good answer for that one. I don't remember. It's been so long.
And honestly, I'll take that. That's quite all right. Well, then I'll pivot to a different direction. Who would you say was the nicer teacher, and who would you say busted your balls the most?
Merrick definitely busted our balls the most. Yeah, I mean, Seth was he wasn't easy on us either, but oh man, those are some days. I remember doing one day, one of the rules was broken beforehand, so we set up the ring, and then we immediately tore down the ring, and we had to do like 300 burpees, and then go home. So,
for the uninitiated, burpees are some of the most intense kind of workouts that you can do. I can barely do 5. I can't even imagine doing 300. Oh boy, I'm sure your abs were on fire that night. Good Lord.
That was the only good thing about living in Iowa in the wintertime. I could just go outside and lay in the snow
and just cool off after the fact. Now, I want to mention, but on the Crockett Cup legacy, so winning that puts your names next to the Midnight Express and the Road Warriors. So, we've already mentioned that you've, taken down with Odinson and Kratos. Now, do you think those are the potentials you have to watch out for, or is there anybody else in the killer's row that you got to look out for during the tournament itself? I mean, I know you're confident in your ability to win, and, I wouldn't bet against it, but typically you want to make sure you're mentally prepared for the roadblock that you got to scale over. So is there anybody in the lineup this year that you're looking out for?
I mean, it's the Crockett Cup, man. They're not going to put no bum tag teams in there. So everyone in there is going to be a real challenge. Knox and Murdoch, I'm sure, will be in there. Let me think about that. The Hard Way has been announced. Dalton McKenzie and Jack Vaughn, those 2 big brothers. But listen, me and Carrie ain't afraid of nobody. We're prepared to do it again. There's no challenge too big for us.
Absolutely. Now, I always like to take an opportunity to interview whenever I'm able to, just to throw a couple curveballs in there. Oh, actually, if we could take a motion here. So AJ Wallace says, I'm a huge fan of professional wrestling and the original NWA professional wrestling. But if the NWA would like to have their superstars in WWE, would it be possible if the NWA have the same partnership with WWE in the near future? I don't know that this is a question for you, but if I can throw that out there, I guess if I can spin this into something, what made you decide NWA was the place you wanted to be? And were you initial fan of the original NWA?
The original, like the original, or okay, yeah, I mean, yeah,
both points.
Yeah, like I said, through finding tapes and stuff, you find the flares and the Harley Race stuff, and yeah, you love all that. When Billy Corgan bought the company in 2017-ish, somewhere in there, whenever Power first started coming on, I was a big fan of that because it's just good throwback. I love the studio wrestling. And that was a time that I'm not going to knock any major wrestling promotion, but like it's a lot of stuff on TV every week and it's hard to just follow everything. But when Power came on, it was just that quick hour, whatever it was, hour and a half. I don't remember right now, but just a good old school wrestling. And I was a big fan of that. And thankfully I had some connections within the company and I got a look and been running ever since. And I even did, before that, when I first started around 2015, 2016, I was doing a couple of those NWA shows. They had, if you guys remember how it was in that era, there was NWA this and that all over. Some of them were good shows. Some of them weren't so great. But I was doing a show in Nashville, NWA something, I don't remember. But I'm in the locker room, barely in the business for 6-7 months. and Jax Dane came in. Time he was the world champion. He sat the title next to me where he set his bag, and I was just looking at it, and I was like, man, that's the NWA World Heavyweight title. How crazy is that to be here right now? And thankfully, Jax became a good friend of mine over the years, and unfortunately lost him. It's been almost 2 years now, Jesus. But I think about Jax all the time. That memory always reminds me how much I love the NWA.
Now, if you have somebody from the NWA here, and you spoke of the world title, the NWA title has always been considered the real heavyweight championship. Now, is that something in the business that y'all, like in the NWA, still actually hold that as a prestigious type deal? Is that something that y'all still claim? You know, because I know everybody has their version of a world title. WWE has their ripoff of it or whatever. But for some of us that grew up watching, you know, like I said, Ric Flair and all them that started with the NWA title and everything, do you still consider that the actual real legit world heavyweight championship?
What kind of question is that, man? I mean, it's the lineage. It's the NWA, National Wrestling Alliance.
That's the man to answer it right there.
I mean, of course, I consider the real world title. I consider Thrillbilly the real world's heavyweight champion. I know a lot of folks may disagree, and there's a lot of different companies with a lot of different belts, but to me, that is the world title.
Now, we actually have a question here from our co-host, Susie Haas. So she wants to know, what has been your most memorable match and what's your least favorite and why for both?
A couple come to mind right away. I wrestled Rich Swann in New York a few months back at the anniversary pay-per-view, NWA 77. That one just sticks out in my mind because it went very well. Also, my first match I had on Power, I come in, read the little sheet. I'm wrestling a man named Homicide. I don't know if you're familiar with Homicide, but he has earned that name. So that was interesting. That one, nothing spectacular sticks out about that match. I did live to tell the tale. Least favorite match, I could give you a whole legal pad full of my least favorite matches, but we don't need to get all that negative out right now. It just became me on the screen. I don't know if I like that.
we take the opportunity to try and spotlight. Sorry about that.
It made me feel like I was alone here.
No, we were still here. Sorry.
And when me and Kerry winning the Crockett Cup, I think that sticks out as probably my favorite match that we've had. That was a magical night.
I would imagine. I mean, the Crockett Cup is a very prestigious kind of wrestling tournament. I mean, that very few wrestling names can be etched in what we consider the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling, especially for tag teams. Now, I mentioned it earlier, but if I'm able to, I want to ask a couple curveball questions. So this is something I take after our co-host, Mr. Night Owl, Rene Martinez. So just try to throw something a little out there that's not too, wrestling related, but just more so. So a favorite of mine is that everybody typically has a gym playlist, what you listen to when you're, pumping iron or you get your push-ups in or your 300 burpees according. But I want to ask what is a song on your playlist that most people wouldn't expect to be there? And why is it on there typically?
Well, if they know me, they wouldn't be unexpected. It's a lot of Waylon Jennings, Leonard Skinner. Hell.
That's this guy's playlist right here.
I mean, yeah, I'll go through a lot in the gym. It'll go from like 90s rap to Southern rock, Metallica, Battlesnake,
awesome,
some metal, and yeah, it's all over the place.
Now you mentioned 90s rap. Who were some standouts for you? Because like for me, it's all about Eric B and Rakim, and that might be beforehand, but still, I'm all about it.
Tupac.
That's all you had to say. Oh, the different NWA, right?
Yeah, the other NWA.
We can't say it here on air, but it's implied.
Yep. Hell, Wu-Tang. Yeah, it's all over the place, like I said. And then
you're hitting all the pillars, man. This is just like my. I already had enough respect for you to begin with, man, but it's just going out through the ceiling right now. Just hitting all of it.
You sound about like that. Mine goes from Elvis to Backstreet Boys to Ozzy to, I mean, you name it. It jumps all over the place, man.
Backstreet Boys, really?
Yes, Backstreet Boys. If you grew up in the 80s and 90s, Backstreet Boys was the thing. I don't care. If you wanted chicks back then, you put on Backstreet Boys. You got to learn something.
No, I can't even talk crap. I'm over here with like video game playlists and anime lists and just like everything from Eminem to Radio Disney. Like I don't know how to describe it other than that, and it's the best way to get it across. Now, I also like to throw it in, but typically you're on the road a lot. You've been everywhere, up and down the states, nationwide. That I always like to ask: is there any personal favorite funny stories that have happened on the road while you've been out there, or just something you can reminisce or kind of tell us that's happened that makes you laugh personally?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of stories that I can tell that won't get me or anybody else in trouble.
We're fine, man. We've said worse. Trust me.
It's the date of my 25th birthday. I'm going to New York with a friend that won't be named, and another wrestler who is blind. It's Crazy Steve. Actually, I don't have to hide him. He's okay. But
great start.
And also, so Steve doesn't drive because he's blind. So that means only 2 people are making this 11-hour drive. Yeah, really shitty partner to drive with when he's blind. But the show, we get there. It's an outside show. I don't remember if those boys wrestled or not, but it comes up to my match. It starts raining. They cancel the show. So, whatever. I wasn't too thrilled about being there anyway. This wasn't the best setup, all that. But comes time to get paid, and the promoter's being a little sketchy. So turns out he has to go to an ATM, this and that. I'm pretty sure some folks got their money. Not everybody did. I got part of my money, to which I demanded the promoter give me his Oakley sunglasses, which I got. They're somewhere. So that whole trip was a bust. We get to the hotel, and we just decided, hey, it's Alex's birthday. We're going to take him to a strip club. So, okay. Now, I don't know if you know this, and if you've ever been to Bath, New York, there are not many options for strip clubs. So I'm a simple guy from the South here. I think New York, the state, you think of New York City, big city, everything. This is not where we were. We were somewhere in the sticks.
Slums. Yeah. I was gonna say the other part of New York.
So we find this place, and it's like driving into a horror movie, man. We get to this little town, and we see nobody. There's no cars on the road except for a tow truck, which these are red flags, right?
All trucks, right?
We arrive at the address that's on the Google, and it is a house that has been converted into a gentleman's establishment. So we go in. I probably shouldn't be telling this story, but
no, you're in too deep, man. I got to hear this now. What's going on?
We get in, there's this bigger lady working the desk, and I'm thinking, okay, she's whatever. At this point in my life, I've never been to a strip club, so whatever. We can't buy drinks there. They got Mountain Dews, so so there's some guy working there. I assume he's some kind of security, but he's about 130 pounds with a Confederate flag hat, and I'm also very confused about that because I thought we were up north. I felt like I was back home. It was strange. So we go in, whatever. We're sitting there waiting, and the same woman who's working the desk, this woman's got to be in her late 40s to early 50s, a little bigger. She comes out, starts taking her clothes off. So I look at Steve, and I'm like, can we leave now? And he's like, not till you throw the money we gave you. So I'm balling up these dollar bills, doing my best Kobe. Yeah. We're getting a lot of
him out here, throw him. Like a flashbang. Just get him out.
And there's no big punchline to the end of the story, but eventually I was like, all right, I'm leaving. You guys can come with me or not. And so that was a good, however, whatever that cover charge was and the $12 I threw, it was an exciting birthday though. It's memorable for sure.
Now I gotta ask you, because like I'm from South Georgia, and us down here, we all got the accent. We're all from the South. Where was your favorite spot to go where the accent was just completely different? And and I know you've probably had it happen, because I had it happen every time I traveled. They look at you like you're some backwoods hillbilly, and what place did you go where somebody just stopped and stared about your accent? Like, what's the memory you have of something like that? Does that happen to you?
Well, Australia and England, that's for sure. The places they notice the accent.
Right? you talk a bit weird, mate. Like, excuse me.
I talk weird. What? Yeah.
Because we sound like straight cornbread down here, and we go somewhere, and especially up north, and they sit there and they stare at you the whole time, and they're like, "What are you saying?"
That's nuts. Where in South Georgia are you from?
Tifton.
Okay, I lived in Macon for a bit when I was a kid. So.
Oh yeah, I stayed probably about 2 hours up from there, about there side of right on the state line, honestly. In Helen, I stayed there for a good while.
Okay.
No, thankfully, I don't have the accent, but I do send myself or enough redneck, so I do understand the accent, and I can understand you guys perfectly. But I can translate. No.
Hey, you saying I got an accent?
Not at all, sir. No. I don't hear it. I can't speak on behalf of the audience, but can I just say, gentlemen, that was probably the single funniest laugh I've ever had on a story on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Just, you didn't need a punchline, man. Just explaining the awkwardness was enough. I felt like I was in the room with you, because I feel I'm quoting off of another story, but there was a story about it was a podcast. It was a gentleman I was familiar with. His name is Miles Lunas. And he told a story about he was at a strip club with a friend. He wasn't there for anybody else. And his buddy thought it was a good idea to get him a dancer. And it was the dancer's name was Dark Chocolate. So the thing is all the chairs in the club have wheels. So he can just feel his, chair getting pulled back. But I want you to mention that this dancer's name is Dark Chocolate. So he's like, I want you to picture this stripper. Now make her about 3 times as big.
Okay.
That was the stripper. And so she proceeds to turn him around. And I cannot exaggerate this, but she proceeds to say the words, "I'ma smother you in my titties." And he just burst out laughing. And then the next thing he knows, he is suffocating in her titties. And he is laughing his ass off. And in the middle of this, she proceeds to go, I probably shouldn't say this, but are you stupid or something? And he just can't keep it together after that point. So I'm put into the mindset when you mention that, because I can't stop laughing at the thought. So I just wanted to throw that out there, but oh my goodness, I can't breathe.
Man, I keep having to mute myself. I'm still getting over this flu, man. And if I can get this to break up in my chest and head, I'll be all right. But geez, man. But hey, it's fun for the game show, isn't it?
Yeah, you just bring me to it. So, Alex, I just want to say thank you so much for helping us get through this second hour. It's been fantastic interviewing you. So, while we have you here on the program, we wanted to ask you something. So, here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, we have a segment that we like to do for all of our guests to give them the opportunity. We like to call it the world famous Wrestle Talk podcast game show challenge. So, this is an opportunity where we have our guests challenge one of our hosts to a best of 3 of a wrestling quiz show. So we would like to take the opportunity to ask if you would be interested in joining us here tonight on the game show challenge.
Let's do it.
Right.
All right. So, Ace, you got our music so you can cue us up so we can get ready?
I do. I got you.
All right.
All right, enough of that.
You cut it off, man. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, let me get my script here, I promise. So welcome to this week's installment of the world famous Wrestle Talk podcast game show challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. Our contestants are the Wrestle Talk podcast very own Will Bromlow Ace versus Too Hot to Trot Alex Taylor. So, gentlemen, to explain the rules a bit here tonight, tonight's Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge category is famous finishing moves. In a few moments, I will give you the name of a famous finishing move. You will need to tell me who uses that move or innovated it. When you think you know what the answer is, when you think you know what they were called as a tag team, ? Shout out your answer. The first person to answer 2 questions correctly wins tonight's game show challenge. So just to explain a little bit, even if you get the question wrong, you continue to answer after the fact.
So wait, you're talking about tag team finishers or just finishers in general?
I believe it's finishers in general, but the phrasing of the question makes you think it's tag team. So I believe it's either or. So just keep that in mind. So, gentlemen, do you both understand the rules?
Yep.
I guess so.
All righty. So we were going to be starting with our first question here tonight, but Ace, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Alex Taylor, are you ready?
I am.
All right. So our first question here tonight for the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Your finishing move to identify, gentlemen, is the Alabama Jam.
Bobby Eaton.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the first fall, Alex Taylor, with beautiful Bobby Eaton with the Alabama Jam. But he didn't even give you a chance there, man. He swept you.
I'm telling you, man. I'm old and slow, man.
I just like to take the time to mention this, Alex. He had mentioned, but he has just recently broken a streak of losses. He has about 5 losses straight. He had just recently beat it recently for 1. So he is 1-5. I really hope you're able to continue that streak of losses.
I think they're going to put me on here because, like, my brain works quicker than my mouth sometimes. So it's like, I know the answer, but yeah, you know. So,
yeah, it actually turns out that Haas was fine. He just wanted to throw you under the bus when it came to the game show challenge.
All it is.
All right, so gentlemen, your second question. Are you both ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So your second finishing move to identify is the Black Hole Slam.
It's Abyss.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the second fall, Too Hot to Trot, Alex Taylor, has officially gotten the lead here. Ace, what's happening, man? You're in a different time zone right now.
He's getting it out quick, man.
I can tell, but man, dude, I mean, to be fair, he's probably faster than me right now. I didn't even know that. But
wait, now, didn't somebody use that before him though? Like, wasn't it called something else, or was he the first one to use that?
The question was Black Hole.
To call it that.
It was called something else. That's not the question.
It's also known as the Thrill Ride.
Exactly. We didn't ask for that though. Now, for our last question here tonight. So this is entirely up to you, Alex. We always like to give this opportunity for those of them in the lead. But since you are in the lead, we have our last question. Now, if you would like to, you are more than welcome to not object to this. But we always like to kind of have that bit of salt in the wound. So that is that this last question is all or nothing. So if Ace does get it, he will end up winning the challenge. But if you get it, you will have these spoils of embarrassing this man for his 6th loss straight here in the Wrestle Talk podcast. So would you like to take that risk, or would you just like to keep it down to the last question and not risk it?
Well, you know, logically, I'm thinking you just walk away with the win, right? I got nothing to gain. But, you know, for the people, let's just make it an entertaining show. Let's do it.
That's what I like to hear. All right, gentlemen, are you ready for your last question?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so your final finishing move to identify, gentlemen, is the Riptide.
It's Rhea Ripley.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the clean sweep, Ace, you better have that victory music ready. I better see that mouse on there right now. You got it?
Oh, man. Let me find it.
For the clean sweep. Oh, man, you got to give me your workout routine, bro. You're killing it with the guns right now. The one and only Too Hot to Trot, Alex Taylor is victorious here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast Challenge.
Y'all got to label these things better, man.
You gotta get your prescription checked is what's happening, man. There we go. Over here, sir.
Thank you.
I just want to throw this out there. We did have a bonus question at the end, but we had the clothesline from hell.
Oh, that was JBL.
Oh, now you get it.
Oh,
after it's too late.
I don't know the answer, but then it won't come out quick enough. And I'm like, whatever.
But, I just want to take an opportunity to say from the bottom of my heart, sir, and on behalf of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Challenge, Alex, thank you so much for your time here tonight, man. I know with a busy schedule as yours, when it comes to the NWA, when it comes to traveling, whether that's Australia, whether that's England, whether it's the United States, I can imagine for you to try and make time for us to just spend and check in our neck of the woods. I hope we made you feel welcome, and I will hope that it is not the last time we see you, man. I just hope that you enjoyed your time here tonight, and we loved having you.
No, I enjoyed it, guys. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What are some ways some people can reach out to you as far as following you on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that?
And where can we see you next?
On Instagram and Twitter, or Instagram and X, it's Alex Taylor brand. Facebook, you can just find me, Alex Taylor. My email is on there if you want to book me, or you can message me through there. It should be fine. Next, this coming weekend, I will be in Tampa for NWA. We're doing taping.
Get out! You're actually going to be in Florida?
I am.
Oh, okay. Hold on. We got to talk the Night Owl after this, man. I got to figure out if I can make it out to NWA. I got to meet you in person, man. I'm here in Florida.
Out, brother.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm in Central, but I can figure something out.
Okay. We're filming TV there. 2 tapings, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m.
I'll call you. No, but absolutely, man. That we got to figure that out. But that's when we can see you next. Is it Tampa?
That's right. Yep.
Absolutely. Now, I just want to
go on the Roku right now. I'm wrestling on NWA Power, I believe. It's already happened tonight, but go back and rewatch the episode.
Sure.
And also go to nationalwrestlingalliance.com. Click on that shop button and get you a Too Hot to Trot Alex Taylor t-shirt.
I'm looking forward to it, man, but I better get that discount. No, I appreciate it. But, on behalf of everybody here on the Wrestle Talk podcast, can I just say thank you so much for your time, but also welcome to the Wrestle Talk podcast family. And I hope it is not too long before we get to see you here again, man. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys.
Just before we send you out, I just want to take this opportunity. If you wanted to, kind of call anybody out or just let the locker room on notice as far as your junior heavyweight championship goes, and as far as the Crockett Cup, if you just want to, just go ham for this minute. If we could get them on center screen again one last time, Ace. It's your opportunity to just let everybody know what Alex said.
Yeah, I mean, I'll slap the hell out of the whole roster. I don't care. Slade's got my title, and I'm going to get that back. And Kratos and Odinson, Kerry and I will also slap the hell out of both of you and take the World Tag Team titles. So, I don't know. I ain't got much more prepared than that, but it's coming soon.
You know what? Short and sweet. That's all you need to say, because you're the kind of person who gets shit done. So, on behalf of the Southern Six, but also the Rest Talk podcast, ladies and gentlemen, this was Too Hot to Trot. Alex Taylor, once again, thank you so much, and you have a great rest of your night, man.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Man, I like him.
You started to connect there at the end, man. Once you realized you guys had that accent to share, you know what to do.
Yeah, good old Southern boy. I was trying to make it without coughing my head off over here. I kept having to mute my mic, man. I'm like, ooh. Oh, man.
You handled it well. I didn't hear him, man.
Yeah.
At the risk of swearing, man, that was fucking awesome. I don't know how to phrase it other than that. That was great.
Yeah, that was a good show. I liked it, man.
Well, and can I just say, Ace, thank you so much for being there to cover us right now. Hardcore Haas, we understand these kind of things happen. And I just want to say, I think we handled this as effectively as possible. I just want to take the opportunity to spotlight it. But Susie Haas, Badass American Diva, thank you so much for scheduling us for this interview tonight, because, man, this was a fantastic guest. And again, I know he said he was good for it, but it can't be soon enough when we get to say Too Hot to Trot once again. And hopefully he can bring his friends next time, and hopefully I can get that shirt soon enough.
And if I can one more right here, man, change some of these labels on this music.
We'll figure it out by next time. But the good news is we've been locking it since then. But, we have a little bit to take care of before we wrap up here tonight. So if we want to flash those sponsors one last time before we wrap up the Wrestle Talk podcast. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank all of our great sponsors here. That includes Retro Zone, Painter's Dream Productions, head by Big Daddy P. Perry, be sure to hit him up. The Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame, Doomed Outfitters by one and only our one ace, Will Bromlaw. Be sure to hit him up for any of your wrestling commissioning needs. World Domination Wrestling Alliance, be sure to check out Elevation with Gavin and Hardcore Haas. Hopefully his connection works. And of course, the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling worldwide chapter. And though he may not be here, let's throw one last time for Hardcore Haas. That's right. So, Ace, before we wrap it up here today, was there anything else you had like to do besides throw some shots at me from our Warriors Heart Championship? And also what we plan on doing to Hardcore Haas and Susie Haas because gonna be honest, come Iron Inferno, the glove's coming off. All right, we kept it professional here tonight, but Assassin Syndicate got to get shit done because.
Oh yeah, we got to get it done, man. Yeah, for anybody else to stand in their way, like I said, man, and that's not, I got to toot my own horn. I'm glad you got your confidence because that's what we need. But coming into this match with all them, I have beaten both of them by myself, and then with you on top of this, they don't stand in it.
That's what I like to hear, man, because it ain't nothing but it. This 2026, I don't mean to throw this out there, but 2026 is the year of the Assassin Syndicate. So you better don't you dare miss it. But with that being said, this has been Will Bromlow, Ace, Gabriel Arsene from Luke Skywalker Roberts, Hardcore Haas, Badass American Diva, Susie Haas, the Night Owl Renee Martinez, CEO Tawan Mills, Big Daddy Perry. And as always, the Wrestle Talk podcast family, I have been Gabriel Arsene. This has been Ace. We want to say thank you so much for being here with us tonight, and good night.
Good.